One of my all-time favorite stories to read would absolutely have to be Eppossumondas, written by Colleen Salley, illustrations by Janet Stevens. We are reading this one thanks to the publishing house of Harcourt, Inc. in New York. Eppossumondas was his mama's and his auntie's sweet little patootie. They just loved him to death. Eppossumondas used to go see his auntie most every day, and she nearly always gave him something to take home with him. One day she gave him a piece of rich gold cake. Eppossumondas took it in his hand, scrunched his hand up tight, and went along home. On his way home, he passed Alligator. And Alligator asked, "What you got, Eppossumondas?" "Cake," he replied. Don't look much like cake to me," said Alligator. When Eppossumondas got home, his mama looked at that fistful of crumbs, and she said, "Eppossumondas, what you got in your hand?" "Cake, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." "Oh, Eppossumondas, you don't have the sense you were born with. That's no way to carry cake. The way to carry cake is to put the cake on your head, put the hat on your head, and come along home. Do you hear me, Eppossumondas?" "Yes, Mama." By and by, on another day, when Eppossumondas was visiting his auntie, this time she gave him a pound of freshly churned butter to take home with him. Eppossumondas put it on his head, put a hat on his head, and went along home. On his way home, he passed Raccoon, and Raccoon asked, "What you got, Eppossumondas?" "Butter," he replied. Don't look much like butter to me," said Raccoon. When Eppossumondas got home, his mama looked at him and she said, "Eppossumondas, what do you have in that hat?" "Butter, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." "Oh, Eppossumondas, you don't have the sense you were born with. That's no way to carry butter. The way to carry butter is to wrap it up in some leaves and carry it down to the brook, and you cool it in the water, and you cool it in the water, and you cool it in the water. And then you take it up carefully in your hands and you come along home. Do you hear me, Eppossumondas?" "Yes, Mama." By and by, on another day, when Eppossumondas was visiting his auntie, this time she gave him a sweet little puppy dog to take home with him. So Eppossumondas wrapped it up in some leaves and carried it down to the brook. And he cooled it in the water, and he cooled it in the water, and he cooled it in the water. And then he took it up carefully in his hands and went along home. On his way home, he passed Nutria. And Nutria asked, "What you got, Eppossumondas?" "A puppy," he replied. Don't look much like a puppy to me," said Nutria. When Eppossumondas got home, his mama looked at that poor little bedraggled puppy and she said, "Eppossumondas, what you got in your hands?" "A puppy, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." "Oh, Eppossumondas, Eppossumondas, you don't have the sense you were born with. That's no way to carry a puppy. The way to carry a puppy is to put the puppy on the ground, tie a piece of string around that puppy dog's neck, and you take the piece of string and you come along home. Do you hear me, Eppossumondas?" "Yes, Mama." Well, by and by, on another day, when Eppossumondas was visiting his auntie, this time she gave him a freshly baked loaf of bread to take home with him. Eppossumondas put the bread on the ground, tied a piece of string around it, took the other end of the string, and went along home. On his way home, he passed Armadillo, and Armadillo asked, "What you got, Eppossumondas?" "Bread," he replied. Don't look much like bread to me," said Armadillo. When Eppossumondas got home, she looked at that thing at the end of that string and she said, "Eppossumondas, what do you have on the end of that string?" "Bread, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." "Ooh, Eppossumondas, Eppossumondas, you don't have the sense you were born with. You never did have the sense you were born with. You never will have the sense you were born with. No, I'm not telling you any more ways of bringing truck home, and I don't want you to go seeing your auntie either. I'll go see her myself." And Eppossumondas' mama got her basket, but before she left, she said, "Eppossumondas, Do you see those 6 pies cooling there on the porch? Yes, Mama. Well, Eppossumondas, you be careful about stepping on those pies. Then Mama went off to see Auntie. And then Eppossumondas was careful about stepping on those pies. He stepped right in the middle of every one. If you liked this one, I will be reading one more Eppossumondas story.